I cry a lot, I guess, sometimes. Like Biggie, I still cry. DMX went to his funeral, cried like a baby. Eric Mother be like, yeah, Keith, you'll cry, baby. So just be strong. I let it out.
People would be saying, how can they support the channel? Chiso by Chiso. I've got tops, got hoodies, I've got the Dragon Ball Z tees, like the Pain and Full Star tees. You lot can support, buy some of the merch. I'll be able to churn out more content. This one I'm just waiting by myself for the moment, and I'll bring out more colours. Please support.
So I know we've done too much serious talk. What is it like being you? So what is a day in the life of Keith Murray?
I seem to get popular by the day. I can't go outside much, can't do nothing, because wherever you at, there you are. Murray, 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 Murray. I'll be like, God damn, this is crazy. I'm thankful for it, but shit.
Okay, does it get frustrating a little bit when like...
I never get frustrated because, you know, it's what I want. Once they stop is when you got a problem. But I'm just conscious of it now, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I was just outside the other day. I was a guy that worked in the front. He was like, you that rapper, Keith Murray. I was like, yeah, that's dope. He was like, man, I used to live in Nigeria. We used to bump your music all the time, just sharing a laugh. Dope.
That's dope.
Dope.
It must be hard though, because when you go to like the groceries or you go to like a Walmart, or you go to just any kind of random shop, it's almost as if you can't just leave your house, as in you've got to kind of, so for instance, I might just leave my house in anything because people are not going to take photos of me or take pictures of me, or not, someone is not just going to record me randomly. But someone like yourself, it's almost as if you have to always be prepared.
Yeah, you do. You do. Or you could do something and not know people are looking, so you got to be conscious all the time. Yeah, but I usually just rehearse.
So you're acting now too?
Yeah. Figure out my marketing and promotion for my new music now. Do my shows. I'm very approachable, you know. I talk to people, take their pictures and stuff like that because it's a blessing. I never trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. I meet some people who don't know me now. Like I was coming out of the interview. It was 4 dudes. I was like, yo, what up? I got a concert. You ever heard of Keith Murray? They was like, nah. Like 22, 23. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that age group.
That age group,
I know younger kids that know me,
Okay.
but I got some work to do. I look forward to that.
You mentioned the album, the new album. When is that dropping?
Well, I was supposed to drop it this summer, but I can't because now I'm doing some NFT work, so I'm pushed back. So it's gonna be about 6-7 months from now.
6-7 months. So that probably looking at sort of March, April times.
Yeah, I was gonna drop it this summer, but I can't now because of the other work I'm doing, which is gonna springboard me to put it out properly with marketing and promotion. But I think I'm gonna come out with it in the UK first.
Okay.
Yeah, so me and Malinga, my manager, went to go see a lawyer today who said that he know a few independent people that will be susceptible to us doing business with them. Okay. Because if you go to Spotify, London is my #1 top listener around the world.
Oh, for real?
Outside of America or including America?
Including America.
So you got more listenership in the UK than you have in America?
On Spotify.
Serious?
Yeah, I get like 240,000 a month, but London is like the biggest audience of listeners.
Okay, so you're moving to London then?
Well, I wanted to, but I gotta get dual shit. I had a girlfriend out here.
We will find you a babe. We'll find him a babe.
I thought I never was coming back.
He's looking for a woman not for papers, but because he wants to fall in love. Yeah. So if any women out there who fancies Keith Murray, just let you know that he's looking for
dual
love.
citizenship.
Come to the show Saturday, the 100th.
September the 3rd?
The 3rd.
Okay,
this
so you
Saturday.
Fly in the DMs. He's Keith Murray.
Yes.
Okay, and he can filter through. His manager will filter through, and you know, I'm sure we can.
No, he'll be on my page like that. I'll be on my page.
Yeah, we can sort something out.
Word.
You know, we can sort something out.
Word. It'd be some bad chicks out here.
I'll never ever be able to see you perform, and it's going to be great to be hearing those tracks and to sort of see whether you sound like you sound on the records.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
Say 100%.
Fortunately,
you know, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I get that a lot still. Some people don't, but fortunately.
Still keep the same pace.
What you mean?
So a lot of rappers, like you find with age, they cut out the track and
Yeah.
yeah.
Is the
Normally
energy
that's
still
why
going to
they
be
use the
there?
backing vocals.
Have you still got the energy, or are you going to genuine the stage?
Oh, you're gonna
You
give
know?
us the.
Are you going to do the genuine and be like, have you still got the energy?
That's crazy.
That's what I want to know.
Well, fortunately, I'm an athlete, and I do aerobics on stage.
So you're not going to have any backing vocals apart from the chorus.
I ain't gonna have the chorus.
So you're going straight through.
It's to a live band, no DJ or nothing.
No
Okay.
DJ.
It's good. I can't wait to see this.
Shout out to DJ Goomba, he ain't here, but that's my DJ.
Okay.
But he ain't here right this time.
Because there's an art to MCing. You're going to have to literally remember all of those songs from 19
I
way back.
perform them all the time, but I wrote them. So they wedged in my memory.
Oh, so you haven't got a ghostwriter? Sorry.
Huh?
You haven't got a ghostwriter?
No.
No, because in this era now, people can rap and someone else writes their lyrics, and does that take away the art of being an MC when someone ghostwrites for you, or is it just music where, for instance, you might have someone called Amanda who someone called Jane wrote for her, and because
Like
she's a singer,
R&B artist.
like an R&B, but for rap, would you
Like
say
Drake.
that?
Drake got
Like who?
ghost-
Sorry,
Drake.
who? I didn't
He
say
got
that.
ghostwriters.
Does he? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Aubrey.
But it works for him, you know what I'm saying? As long as you ain't saying, yo, I'm the best MC. If you're the best, then you write rhymes from your own mind. You could be an artist and bring in writers and be successful, but to each his own. If you're an MC, you gotta push that pen, be from your own mind, claim your stake.
So you can't. So you would say that you can't be called a great as an MC or a rapper if you have someone writing for you.
No, you can't. You could be a great artist because then you can learn the words and recite it and then perform it and then go sell records and things of that nature. But if you're not writing those rhymes, then you're not considered one of the greatest to do it. You know what I'm saying?
So that's like J wrote Still DRE.
Yes, Jay-Z wrote the lyrics for Dre on that.
Yeah.
But Dre, he's one of the greatest producers, if not the greatest, besides Eric Sermon, I feel, or the RZA, or Ninth Wonder, or Prince Paul. But Dr. Dre, he let people write for him. And he'll tell you that. He ain't gonna trip off that.
But he's not ever claimed to be the greatest, rapper,
greatest
ever.
rapper ever,
So
yeah.
and people know him as a producer anyway, so it's okay, I guess, for that. And how much of battle rap helped you in regards to being an MC?
Well, it helped me because I have an instinct. You know what I'm saying? I have an instinct in thinking woody and responding fast, but my family is talkers. From my grandmothers to my aunts to my uncles, everybody is blah, 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 blah. They don't really miss a beat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just groomed me to sit down and have thoughts to write rhymes in that manner. Because most of my rhymes were battle rap, the records, just talking shit, you know what I'm saying? Until I told a heartfelt story of loved ones lost or aspirations of a different world other than the life of Riley, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Okay, because I like battle rap, and I think that is one of
battle
I think that's probably one of the, I wouldn't say it's the most important thing when it comes to hip hop and rap, but you find that it was the battles on the street and the clashes on the street that sharpened your eye and to make you
It's a
witty.
pure form.
Yeah, that's what started hip hop from the Jamaicans, because I was raised by Jamaicans at 12. So I used to pay attention to all the records. My Uncle Mikey had the records.
Okay.
And then when Kool Herc brought it over, that's what the basis of it was. Them niggas going out of that sound clashes.
Okay.
That's the basis of hip hop. Talk about your mama, everything. Just go in on it. That's all it was. And then stories started coming along with the message and things of that nature. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. Yeah.
So you say that was where hip hop came from initially, was just sort of the battling between MCs and just sort of like showing how good you are at putting words together, and then all of a sudden it then moved from
Show
the
you
battles.
how good it was to talk
Yeah.
straight up and down. and not be affected by what somebody else say. Hold your wits and then go back at them.
Yeah.
Even if they got you good, just be like, well, I'm coming at you like this now. You're gonna know me when I leave.
As bad as it sounds, I always think that if you, as an MC, can't hold your own in that battlefield, I don't care what you do on the track.
Yeah.
Can you, as an MC, can you battle me? And if you can't think on the spot, and that's where freestyling originally started from. The freestyles we do now is things that are rehearsed.
Pre-written.
But freestyling back in the day was you're just clashing. You don't know what the
freestyle if it's written.
Yeah.
It's a written rhyme.
Yeah.
That's not formatted for song. Freestyles at the top of the dome.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, that's one thing I've always loved. And I remember when you mentioned, obviously I mentioned the name MC Do Damage. Okay, which was obviously, I think that was the first name you went by.
It was Keefy Keef.
Oh, that was the first name, Keefy Keef?
Yeah.
That doesn't suit you, I'm sorry, that's not.
Well, everybody had that abbreviation.
Keefy Keef.
Yeah.
I don't know what you called that for.
Keith.
Yeah.
Keefy Keef.
Okay.
Everybody had that abbreviation. Then it moved on to MC Do Damage as I got older and I was really in the streets doing damage.
Yeah.
We used to be in a crew called, well, I am an LOD, but then we also was in a crew called the Razorcons, a little crew under the Decepticons from Brooklyn. We used to carry razors.
When you say crazy, as in like you was giving people haircuts and beard trims with the razors?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. I was just wondering what you meant by that. So
$1.50 to tell you congratulations.
So when you was raising that, you was actually on, you was in it growing up, as in you was on the streets, like you was
On crud.
You was on crud. We call it in the UK on crud, as in you was out there. Yeah. And then you obviously had the transition from, so would you go as far as saying music saved you?
It sideswiped me. I would have been in school. I was in school, but my grandmother used to tell us, you're gonna work or go to school in this house. I used to walk to college or drive to college, sell drugs, come back, go to the block, hide from my mother, go home, study, go back to school, and then hip hop came. So I went to the second college because I left New York Tech, went to the second Suffolk. Hip hop came and I stopped going to school and I just started going to the studio and selling a little bit, but I was good at selling and I was good at hip hop. So I didn't go back to college. The only time I went back to college when I went to the penitentiary.
Who was your role models? Who could you look at and say, I want to be like you? Who was a representation of what you could aspire to at that age?
My grandmothers, my grandfather, my uncles.
And what did they do? So what did the men in your life do?
Everybody had a job.
Okay.
Everybody had a job. Nobody in my family did not work. And they always kept me fresh.
So why didn't you?
Yeah, so exactly what I was going to say. So why did you go down the part of the street hustle?
Because at one point, I lived on the corner. On every corner we moved at was the corner. And my step-pop started selling drugs. So I used to count the money and hold the guns.
Okay.
I was in high school. I was like 9th grade or some I used to hold the money, count all the money he made, because he used to work at the hospital, Dread, Jamaican Les, but we lived on the corner. So I used to hold the money and hold the guns in my room, in a hole in the wall, and like just keep it for him. And then one day, for some reason, we wanted to go to the movies, because he used to give me the money for the sneakers on my uncles and my pops, and then when I went to Roosevelt, my mother and father split before I could remember them in the household. So we wanted to go to the movies one day, me and Cal Vicious, and we had no money. So we went and made some macadamia nuts, cut it up, and then we went to the next block and started selling drugs. It was coming like a mother. Then my step-pops went home one day, and I happened to have some real drugs, because my boys, the older LOD, we used to go give them like $20. They'd give us a chunk, we used to cut it up. the bass just kept coming. Just kept coming. So I was like, yo, damn, look, goosebumps. Like, yo,
Yeah.
I could get away with this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it just happened like that. Then I used to go uptown, get cocaine, come back. My step-pop showed me how to cook it up in the stove.
Okay.
Then he showed me how to cook it in the microwave.
And how old are you at this point? Sorry.
Like 17, 18.
Okay.
And then I used to play sports all the time. And I remember my basketball coach, I was just counting money. Then I looked over, and he saw me.
Yeah.
Called my mother. I got in trouble. I wasn't allowed to sell it nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's how young I was.
Was your mum aware of this at the time?
No, she used to be like, "Oh, you selling drugs?" I used to be like, "Nope," denying it. But then she used to see me on Carlton Avenue, and she used to be like, "I see you over in the woods. Get off this corner." I used to have to hide, and I put it in the song "Hustle On."
Okay.
All that's real.
Wow. Because at that age, you're holding guns and holding for your step-pops. And I'm assuming, obviously, was your mum aware that your step-pops was involved in that sort of stuff?
Yeah, he would sell right there on the corner or out the yard. It just was, he used to start selling.
And often they say that these things were put in the hood on purpose. Would you say that it was orchestrated, all of this, for the black community? Or would you say that in general, everybody was on drugs?
Well, no, not everybody.
As in all cultures, as in whether you're white, Hispanic, whether you're...
Oh, yeah, they were. But
Okay.
I guess it was a choice to do it. And then if you did it and liked it, you developed a habit for it. But my step-pops don't smoke no drugs or nothing now.
Just selling it, basically.
He's not even selling it no more. He works every day now.
No, but I mean back then, sorry, he was just selling it.
Oh, you know, he used to work in a hospital. Then he started selling it, and then he started using it and quit his job. But all through his using it, he was making wild bread. It was like leisure.
Wow. Wow. So
That's how New York was. They used to be like smoking wools and smoking crack. It was an era.
it was wooze, sorry.
Crack
Okay.
chopped up in weed in the rolling papers or a blunt.
Okay. Okay.
It was an era.
That's what kind of messed up the older generation.
From
over
our
here,
era, From our era, yeah. So our era, the OGs, we call them now, they started smoking that back
So
then.
a lot of the ones who are like 5 years older than us, that's probably why most of us never smoke, because we'd seen how it messed them up and how the ones who couldn't handle it ended up in a madhouse. So it's like when you start to lose your mind, they send you to get
mental institution.
Yeah, exactly, mental institution. Then you had a lot of them. They used to pump them up, so when they would go in, they might go in there slim and come out bloated.
So the steroids they give you.
Yeah. So I remember like where we grew up, there was a madhouse, like mental institution. I need to stop calling it madhouse.
It is, man.
So
That's
basically,
short term.
2 roads behind, there was one of the entrances, and scary thing is, a few of my older friends who used to come out walking with the social workers from the madhouse and that, walking past. Imagine the madhouse is there, you're staying there, and your mum's house is here. So you're walking past your mum's house. So us seeing us growing up, I think that's what kind of threw my age group.
That's how it was in Long Island.
Yeah.
Right in the college, right through there was the madhouse. My cousin used to work there. I used to go pick him up. I used to see them walking in circles like, damn, that's what happened to us. We saw that, and we never would. We just sold crack. Same thing, though.
Crazy. Like, you see them walk past you, and when they've got like 20 meters up the road, they'll turn around and be like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, that's how long it takes them to remember who you are, and you're thinking, damn. And from that, that's why loads of us don't smoke. Just used to seeing what the effect of mixing crack and weed. Yeah.
What would you say are your coping mechanisms? Because you mentioned a lot of, when you first started this interview, you mentioned, you know, rest in peace to the dead. You mentioned that quite a lot of your friends and family members have unfortunately passed away. How have you coped with that? So, for instance, who I call my second mum, she passed away 2 weeks ago,
Sorry
and
to
it's
hear
been,
that.
and I've just come from the Songs of Praise, so we do like a memorial, that's why we was late today, because I had to go to that today, and I'm asking you, how have you coped with it? Obviously, your mother's passed away, rest in peace. Your father's passed away. How do you deal with that? because I'm asking you for advice, and I'm asking you for some counselling, because I think counselling is a dirty word we have in our community, because it always makes us feel that there's a problem with us. But whether we like it or not, sometimes the trauma doesn't leave. So I'm asking you, how have you coped with all of this, with all that's happened?
Well, I'm no stranger to death. It started young. So I got a support system, my grandmothers, my uncles, and my aunts. But I never will get over it. And that's sometimes it affects me and my behavior. So I just live with it. And my journey is so crazy that I was very quiet. When my mother passed away, I got very loud and boisterous and violent. Then I would have to do time in penitentiary. So it would sit me down and preserve me. Then I would come back out, work my plan, but I never would get over it. I don't to this day. I just cope with it because I have to, because I can't break down and lose it. I have to keep going. So resilience, perseverance, that I read a lot and I'm around positive people, but you never get over it. You just gotta cope. Losing people at not younger and being older and losing them, I experienced being older, but I think it prepared me for deaths. Like I don't know, I cry a lot, I guess, sometimes. Like Biggie, I still cry. DMX went to his funeral, cried like a baby. Eric mother be like, yeah, Keith, you'll cry, baby. So just be strong. I let it out.
And there's
I
nothing
don't
wrong
keep
with
it
that.
balled in.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't keep it balled in.
And I think the fact you've mentioned that you don't keep it balled in, that sounds like probably one of the best mechanisms you've got for coping, is literally just letting it out.
Yeah. Gotta let it out. Word.
Yeah, because that's one thing. Like my dad passed away 2 years ago due to COVID.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. My
Yeah,
condolences.
and it's one of those things.
COVID is real. It's wiping people out left and right, yo.
Yeah, so it's not been easy. That's why when you've mentioned the passing of so many people in your lives, it's just sitting there wondering how you've coped. And I guess
writing songs about it helped me a lot. Therapeutic. Very therapeutic.
Yeah, no, it's good to know that you mentioned the fact that you cry, and a lot of times as men, sometimes we don't like to be open.
Yeah, that stress will kill you. You don't let that out.
Yeah, it's important. So I'm happy that you've expressed and mentioned that.
And over my time, I've been in anger management, shit like that.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Like I go counselling. I've gone therapy. There's nothing wrong in speaking to someone you don't know.
Need an outlet.
It helps.
You have to have an outside person that's trained for that stuff, or you'll release it in different ways, and they got a place for you. They will lock your ass up so fast it'll make your head spin. Been there, done that. I don't want to jinx myself, but I ain't trying to go back. Bars.
Yeah. Still spitting. It's just in you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just in you. You can't help
Second
yourself.
nature.
You can't help yourself. And if you could give one bit of advice to the younger you, what would that advice be?
The younger me?
Yes.
Save your money more. And don't be so wild. Calm down, Murray. Life ain't that intense all the time. Relax. Get through it, brother. You'll be fine.